wanted to talk a little bit about Ferra and how to use her, because she is surprisingly possibly one of my favorite cameos at the moment. I was not excited for her, but the way that she plays is so awesome and so strong. She gives you a lot of life, and she basically just makes any character the king or queen of mix and launchers. And in that essence, she's also really quite simple to use in most of her techniques. So, Ferra. You press the Kameo button and she jumps on your back. That's basically her main function. It works as a summon after most things, so then you can do any strings and have her jump on your back. And then when she's on your back, you have this low, this overhead, this mid launcher, this slow overhead. Press the grab button for a command grab, and press down Kameo to give yourself a damage buff, which is already a crazy amount of options. And keep in mind, these are basically just your new special moves. You can do them after anything. After any of my strings, I can go for a command grab, I can go for a low or an overhead, or like all that sort of stuff. So having all those options is crazy. But also those options are crazy. If I get my opponent to block here and I go for this launcher, which by the way, one of the best launchers in the game, it brings you so high while you're traveling with the opponent that Rain can get stuff like this mid-screen and even crazier in the corner. So an amazing launcher, and if it's on block, +3, so I can just throw out this whenever I like, leaves me close, I can go for strike throw mix, and that's not where it ends. If I'm going for my overheads or lows, they're also completely safe. So, oh, low or overhead? Overhead, doesn't matter, I'm safe. Low or overhead? Low, doesn't matter, I'm completely safe. And if I manage to hit the opponent with these, I'm getting a full combo. It is just insanely strong how strong these... Wait, what? Insanely cool how strong these things are. Also the command grab, one of the only things in this game that tick throws, which also means that you can use it completely mindlessly. So any buttons or strings you do into Ferra basically will all tick throw into this, which means that also on hit it'll connect. So it's really a no-brainer. You can just be like, you know, I don't know if the opponent's gonna block this string, but I can go into Ferra and I'll either just get, you know, a small amount of damage, it's fine, cool, I get my knockdown, or if they're blocking, boom, get wrecked, I guess. Like, it's crazy and so brainless, but at least it's on an ambush. At least it's not an ambush. I think probably one of the weakest is this slow overhead. I'm sure there are cool setup potential with it, but I don't really care about it enough to use the Kameo gauge when I could be spamming stuff like this, and this. And then also with the Pain and Gain, it is an armored move, so just give me a sec. So there's a chance I can use it to get through zoning while I'm full screen. I can just choose to power myself up. Instead of trying to defend myself with the walls and like counter zone and stuff, I can just be like, okay, you're gonna throw a projectile, Ferra, get on my back, and oops, you have to time it a little bit better than that. So yeah, potential to armor through your things while you're full screen, which is kind of cool, but that adds into the potential that she gives you from full screen, which is, you know, a full screen low that now launches even better because it's delayed, which is crazy. A near full screen overhead, or not full screen, maybe half screen, but a ridiculously long ranged overhead. And also the movement she gives you, like if I tap forwards, I move that far. So you can just pop her whenever, and if you think they're gonna zone you, get your damage buffs, or you can just like instantly dash in, go for this quick overhead. There is so many ridiculous stuff you can do with this character. And yeah, in neutral, she is pretty strong as well. But yeah, this ability to have all of this mix, all of this like strong, safe mix that is like not only like one-way mix, not two-way mix, it's like three-way, it's ridiculous amounts, levels of mix. Because say I have my own strings here that have lows and overheads in them. Now, not only can I mix that low into an overhead that launches for a combo, you may be thinking, okay, well, they can maybe react to her coming out because you have to jump on your back and then do the overhead. But maybe you can react to her jumping on the back. But once she jumps on your back, she's got an overhead and a low, so there's still no guarantee that I'm going for that overhead. I could choose to just go for a low again. It has nearly the same reward. So there is just literally no way of reacting. You're cooked. If you block anything against someone using Ferra, you're cooked. because you don't know if they're gonna go for use their own lows in their strings. So I can go low into overhead, low into low, straight overhead, cancel the straight overhead into a low. Like, you're done. There's no way you're blocking any of that. And so many of your strings as characters will have random overheads, or at least as Rain, but a lot of characters have random overheads and lows. Like this. Low, overhead, double overhead, low, low. Like, all of those situations, you're done. And even if you're a character that doesn't have much mix, your strike throw becomes ridiculous because you have this. You can tick throw off of anything, and anything becomes a throw mix. And then if you think they're starting to respect that, then you can start doing stuff like that, like jumping in. So we have a different overhead option. I think I forgot to mention that as well. If you just jump and press a punch button, she does this jumping overhead, which is just a slightly different version. And so with all of this, you have amazing strike throw where the opponent is like, oh, should I jump or duck out of the way? And if they do, they'll get hit by all of your launchers. And if they don't, they'll get thrown. I just think this is a really, really strong and simple to use Kameo that is also pretty fun. Like, if you just take simple situations like this, even though she can't extend the end of your combos very well, she can give you amazing Oki because she jumps on your back as a special move, then you can move around easily. So you can try and jump in on the opponent, like maybe jump over them depending on the knockdown. Or, like in this situation, I can just take one of my giant Ferra steps back, and I'll dodge my opponent's wake up and hit them with one of the giant overheads or lows and get a full combo. So it's kind of like getting, you know, safe jump armor break, except you don't need to do that because you can just easily move out of the way and launch them with the same Kameo situation. Now, she does have other things of questionable usefulness, like she can summon herself on the floor if you press down Kameo, and it's an ambush, but she just comes out and... Let me just give myself 2 bars. She just comes out and makes you build more meter, essentially. So now all of the hits you do build some more meter, which is kind of a significant amount of meter. Like if I call her out and then do a throw, I get a lot more damage than I normally would from a throw. It's actually not that noticeable. But perhaps you know you have some really long combos or some really long pressure sequences. If you know you're a character that has that, perhaps it's useful because you build a ton of meter. But it is consuming her Kameo gauge, and if you get hit, you lose meter. So I really don't know if this one is worth it. But the main one that you may be wondering why I'm not talking about is, well, she also does have an ambush where she can do some shenanigans. So if you are in the air and you press up Kameo, or you can always do it, if you press up Kameo, she'll jump up and try and grab you out of the air. And then you basically just turn straight into the stance, but now it's an ambush. So now I can go for this like jump thing that I was always able to go for, but now it's an ambush. And so things like my throw, she can just grab me out of it and I can swing down on my opponent. And get some easy throw combos. But there's a lot of applications to this, like you can cancel yourself out of combos anytime you're in the air. And I don't think there's too much use for this with Rain, because he doesn't have too much that puts him in the air, except for like Weather God, and that doesn't really, you don't want to, like, it doesn't really work that well. But things like your throw, a lot of characters have buttons or specials that put them in the air, like Liu Kang's flying kick will put him in the air, and then you can cancel out of that. And keep in mind, when you're cancelling out of things, you're going to the Ferra stance, you can go for command grabs, you can go for your launchers, it's basically just the ambush version as long as you're in the air. But even with Rain, if you try to find an example, you'll find one, like I just thought on the spot there. With the back 3-4, this is a string that puts him in the air, so Ferra can grab him out of the air, and we can go for some kind of simple combo. Which isn't going to be a ton of damage. I can add a geyser at the end there as well, don't know why it didn't come out. There we go, so not a ton of damage, but what is cool about this is that you can do it on block as well, and you'll still be in the air, so you're going to still be cancelled out of the string. She's going to grab you, and then it kind of turns this unsafe string into suddenly plus and a mixed situation where you can go for your overheads or whatever. So pretty cool, but it does cost you the whole Kameo gauge. but certainly depending on the character, this can be far more useful. So that is Ferra. She's incredibly simple, but incredibly strong, and if you like opening up your opponent, this is the one for you. She doesn't give you stupid brain-dead stuff in neutral, she gives you stupid brain-dead stuff when you're up close. You've got, like, infinite options for mix that is completely safe, so you can just do it and there's not much the opponent can do about it. She gives you good Oki, and even some options in neutral, whether it comes to just more mixing, or trying to go for some armored stuff. She's got interesting options. Very, very cool character, and a lot of potential with all of the cast, so try her out. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye!